Now it is the time for the Aspen Social Action Prize. And starting with 2015 edition of the Aspen Leadership Gala, Aspen Romania intends to bring recognition to activities and initiatives that Aspen Fellows and Alumni put forward in creating social and civics change. We have 3 projects, and their initiators will present their project. I invite on stage Ms. Claudia Șerbănuță, Aspen Fellow 2015, and co-initiator of Code Kids, nominee to the Social Action Prize, to say a few words about the project.
Good evening. I want to start by apologizing that my co-initiator for this project is not here, Camelia Crișan. She's been in the project from the beginning. She's currently flying, or maybe already landed, because it's late. So the story goes like this. 45% of the Romanian pupils come from rural communities. When the time comes for these kids from middle school to move to high school, about half of them don't make it because the grades that they have are not good enough and they are not able to pass the exam. So that means that yearly, a small city size full of young rural kids are lost in our public system education, moving from the middle school to high school. The other half that gets onto high school, for them, about 60% of them actually don't make it to the end of the road of the high school. So they actually fail to get a job that will allow them to provide welfare and well-being for themselves in the future. I'm sure this seems a situation that is connected with the PISA results that we've been talking about in the last days. But it is something that we at our foundation have been signaling and trying to address since 2016. Ever since we started this with the support of Romanian American Foundation and some of the Aspen friends like Alpha Bank and Farmexim, and also Societe Generale European Business Services, Orange, CEZ Vânzare, and individual donors, we started to invest in the skills of kids from rural communities. Today, more than 1,400 kids learn to program in 96 coding clubs across the country. They develop their STEAM skills, but also their personal skills in weekly meetings at the public library. Code Kids is the largest coding movement for kids from Romania. But more than that, is in fact the most important tool that kids from rural communities have in order to start to address the challenges of the 4th Industrial Revolution. We honor here tonight our beneficiaries, our team, our librarians, and invite you all to become our partners in rewriting the future of Romanian rural children. Thank you very much.
Now I invite on stage Ms. Maria Duduman, Aspen Fellow 2013, to say a few words about Bine, the second nominee to the Social Action Prize.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I invited Claudia with me is not because I'm afraid of speaking alone tonight, but because my project is about community. And everything started in 2013 when I was a Young Leaders participant, and when I discovered that actually all dreams can become reality due to my colleagues. And that I also discovered that when you have at the same table people coming from different fields with different experiences, everything you can think of can be transformed and improved in so unimaginable ways that it deserves to create a community to think like this also from the social perspective. And I was very challenged by the project, by the program, by the way, because I was a banker at that time. And when the program asked from me to deliver a social project, I was very concerned about my abilities to really do that. I mean, I was very good in what I did, but thinking and creating a social project was a bit too much for me at that time. But then, during the conversation we had, during discussing the philosophical text, and then when we worked with the business social model, business model, and then when we started to really ask ourselves, what are we really good at? What are our qualities are? I started discovering myself in different ways and in ways I couldn't ever believe I can be capable of. And this is one of the reasons I am very grateful to the Aspen community. Everything started with a volunteering project because as I told you, I work in a bank. I volunteered. I had been volunteering at the time for a few years. And I started observing that once I started posting pictures from my activities, people started asking me how they can get involved. And at that time, 6 years ago, there were no platform like this. And I started with the idea of building a volunteering platform. But then once I started interacting more and more with NGOs, I started also discover their issues, their real issues. And I'm not a person that does something and then just say, my mission ends here. I am a solution finder. This is how I would characterize me in this way. So I realized that they, for instance, create products. And I helped them organize some fairs, but these fairs took place 3 days a week, 3 days a year, in March, for 1st of March, 8th of March, for Easter, and for Christmas. And I was thinking, if my company would sell its products only 3 days a year, would it ever be profitable? Would it ever exist more than 1 week? No, it would not. How can we overcome this obstacle? How can I do something easy but very helpful for NGOs? And this is why Bine, the platform, has now an online shop where NGO can sell their products. And actually, I'm very happy because this Christmas we sold Christmas gifts to 2 corporations, which it's extremely important for us because the last version of the platform was launched only in January this year. And then, why I really started this project was because I really believed in our human beings, in our willingness to get together and solve the issues our society really face. And then I was also thinking about my colleagues working in corporations like me and who were willing to get involved but didn't have maybe the chance or didn't have the attitude to just confront their fears and make the step and meet people with disabilities, meet people with different kind of problems and maybe help them because we are human beings, it's very difficult to make this first step. And because of this, the platform also offers a wide range of trainings for people willing to get in contact with the social causes, but in a very easy and fast way, so that the social causes and the social impact is not difficult to achieve. And I would ask you to think about something. If you own a bank, if you manage a bank, you would take the best professionals knowing what a banking product is, what risk management is, how you manage all their duties. If you are an IT company, you would take the best programmers to work for you. We discussed these days that corporate social responsibility is the main topic on the day. Who is doing this corporate social responsibility if we don't have our people trained and prepared to deal with this issue? You can have one department with 1, 2, 3, maybe 10 people dealing with this issue, but if you have 1,000 of people trying at least or asking themselves some questions about how can I be better each and every day, When I discovered that there are NGOs who can feed 100 people with less than 100 euros, I saw my life completely different. With my money, I had enough to feed enough people. It wasn't that, yes, I wanted more, but what more really means and how far you can go and how much you can really have and you can really help the other ones with what you have. What is really your life with what you have now compared to the other ones who have much less and who really exist and live in those conditions and they are really happy. I saw my life transform in so many ways by volunteering and by interacting with the NGOs. I learned effectiveness from them. I learned what really means to be next to those who really need need your help. And this is why, effectively, Bine is an ecosystem, but it's more than this. It's a community of people really believing that it's in their hands to change the society in the way they really want. Actually, the motto of the platform is a better world lays in your hands, in mine, but also in your hands. Make it happen. Thank you.
And now the third nominee to the Social Action Prize, I invite on stage Mr. Sebastian Cochinescu, Aspen Alumnus 2018, to present the project SEVA.
Good evening, everyone. This is an honor for me and for the SEVA project. So SEVA means in Sanskrit the act of selfless service. Using a bit more words, it means giving something without expecting anything in return. This is in Sanskrit, and it's a very important word in a lot of religions and cultures. What SEVA meant and means actually in Romania, it's a platform to track clothing donations. And it adds an accountability layer to the donation process. And it all started with the problem of creating more clothing items than we actually use. This is a problem in the fashion industry. Then we have a problem of people in need that actually do not have enough clothing items and they are cold during the winter and so on. And then we have a problem of not really putting together people that want to do a selfless act and people that are in need. So we found a few like-minded people from Minipri, the fashion brand, one of the oldest Romanian fashion brands, Tailpath.com, my company, and then the General Directorate of Social Services and Child Protection in Bacău, and also, last but not least, the great green team of the Great Britain's embassy in Bucharest. And we all started the project in August. Actually, the embassy was a user of the platform, and it was a great success, not only by adding this accountability layer and getting the donations to the people in need, but also getting something more, the smile on their faces, the actual feeling of being cared for, of someone thinking about them. That was more important, because you would expect people in need to live in very poor conditions. This is not actually true for all the families that were at the receiving end of the donations. So what they actually got from this process was happiness, because other people think of them. And this is what SEVA is about. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm happy to be here tonight. Good evening.
And now, to present the award and tell us who the winner is, I invite on stage Veronica Savanchuk, board member of Aspen Institute Romania, to present this award. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure for me to present to you the prize for social action, which goes to Bine project.
I forgot to say thank you to all those who believed in this project until now, so now I have the chance to do so. So thank you very much for all those who voted for my project, but I would also like to congratulate effectively Claudia and Sebastian, all those who sent and submitted their social projects. But I know that here in the room there are so many other people really working in the social field. So congratulations for everything you do. And I'm looking forward to working to as many of you as possible, no matter the field you come, corporate, NGOs, or if you want to get involved individually, just have a chat. And do not forget, a better world lays in your hand. Make it happen now. Thank you.